I've never been to Las Vegas before. It was one of those places I always told myself I'd visit someday, just to experience it. The lights, the noise, the energy. It felt like another planet compared to my quiet life in Austin. So one weekend, I booked a last-minute solo trip. No big plans, just a few days to see the Strip, maybe play some cards, and cross the city off my list. The flight was easy. I landed around 6 p.m., grabbed my luggage, and caught a cab to a small hotel I found online. It wasn't one of those flashy resorts on the Strip, just a quieter place on the outskirts, cheap and decently reviewed. The guy at the check-in desk barely looked up as he handed me the key. Room 308. The room itself was basic: beige walls, dusty carpet, one queen bed, and a TV that looked like it hadn't been touched since 2009. But I didn't care. I was only planning to sleep there anyway. I dropped my bag, freshened up, and headed out to explore the city. That night was everything I expected and more. Bright neon everywhere, the low hum of people and music, blackjack tables calling my name. I stayed out late, walking through the crowds, eating street food, just soaking it all in. Around 1:30 a.m., I headed back to the hotel, completely drained. I remember standing in front of the mirror, brushing my teeth, thinking, man, this place is old. The wallpaper was peeling in the corners, and the air conditioner rattled every few minutes. I turned off the lights and climbed into bed, but sleep didn't come. The room felt off. Not cold exactly, but there was something about it, something heavy. I tossed and turned, staring at the ceiling, counting the cracks. Around 3:15, I gave up and sat up in bed. That's when I noticed the curtain, the one on the far side of the room. It was covering a wall, not a window. I stared at that curtain for a good minute before I even moved. At first, I thought maybe I was just tired. Maybe the window was behind it and I just hadn't noticed. But the more I stared, the more I realized something was wrong. The shape of the curtain wasn't quite right. It didn't hang naturally. It was puffed out slightly at the bottom, as if it was hiding something. I got out of bed, still half convinced it was nothing. I walked over, barefoot on the creaky floor, and pulled it aside. No window, just wall, but not normal wall. This section had a square cut out in it, roughly the size of a shoebox, painted the same color as the wall, barely noticeable unless you were looking for it. It had a small notch, just enough to grip and pull. I hesitated, hand hovering over it. Something about it felt intentional, like whoever built it didn't want it to be found, but also didn't want it to stay shut forever. Curiosity won. I crouched and gently pulled it open. Inside was a small, dusty recess, maybe 6 or 7 inches deep. At first glance, I saw nothing but shadows. Then I leaned in and squinted. There was a box, a small, beat-up wooden box, maybe the size of a lunch container. I slowly pulled it out and set it on the bed. It was surprisingly light. I sat there for a moment, just staring at it. I don't know why, but my heartbeat picked up. Something about this whole thing, the fake curtain, the hidden compartment, the old box left behind, it didn't feel right. Still, I opened it. Inside were 4 things: a lock of hair tied with a red ribbon, an old flip phone scratched and dead, a silver bracelet tarnished with age, and a single Polaroid photo. A blurry picture of someone sitting on a bed that looked disturbingly similar to the one I was sitting on right now. I dropped the photo and took a step back. What the hell had I just found? I stood there frozen for a while, just staring at the photo lying on the bed. It was grainy and old, clearly taken years ago, but the room, it was unmistakably this room. Same bed, same wallpaper, same cracked mirror above the dresser. The person in the photo sat facing the camera, but their face was obscured. as if they'd moved just before the shutter clicked. Still, something about the posture, the way they sat, it made my stomach twist. I picked up the flip phone. Dead. I pressed the power button a few times, even tried plugging it into my own charger. No response. But the moment I set it back in the box, it vibrated. Just once. I snatched my hand away like it had burned me. My brain scrambled for explanations. Maybe the battery still had a sliver of life. Maybe it had some glitch. But the box hadn't even looked opened in years. Dust lined the edges like it had been sealed shut since forever. And yet, the phone buzzed again. This time I opened it. No lights, no screen. But when I pressed the call log button, something happened. A single entry showed up. One missed call. No number, just the word, "Where are you?" I slammed the phone shut. That's when I heard it. The sound of someone walking in the hallway just outside my room. Slow, heavy steps. I glanced at the door. My heart thudded in my chest. I told myself it was just another guest. Maybe someone going back to their room late at night. Nothing weird, nothing unusual, but the steps stopped right outside my door and didn't move. No key card, no door opening, just waiting. I didn't breathe. After nearly a minute, the steps finally moved on. Slowly. Fading. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the box and its contents. This wasn't just someone's forgotten junk. It felt like something someone had left behind on purpose. A warning, a secret, or maybe a message, and something told me I wasn't supposed to have found it. Sleep was no longer an option. I stayed up with the lights on, back against the headboard, flipping the box's contents over in my mind. Every now and then, I'd glance toward the mirror above the dresser, the same one from the photo. I kept wondering if someone had stood there years ago, watching this same room slowly decay. At around 3:12 a.m., the flip phone buzzed again. One short vibration. I hesitated, then opened it. This time, a new message flashed across the blank screen. Just one word. Look. I stared at it, chills creeping up my spine. I didn't know what it meant. Look where? Then my eyes drifted to the mirror again, and something changed. It was subtle, barely noticeable at first. But the reflection, it wasn't right. The room looked the same, but there was a shape, a faint silhouette standing near the curtain, exactly where I had found the hidden compartment. I whipped my head around. Nothing. But in the mirror, it was still there. I stood up slowly and stepped closer to the mirror. My own reflection looked pale and tired, but that shape, it remained unmoving, like it was staring straight at me. I reached out and touched the mirror. Cold, the kind of cold that seeps deep into your skin. Then the flip phone buzzed again, violently this time. I turned back to it. Another message appeared. Stop digging. My pulse was pounding. I grabbed the box, shoved everything back inside, and stuffed it deep into the drawer. I didn't care what it meant anymore. I just wanted morning to come. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound in the hallway made me freeze. I left the box exactly where I found it, tucked behind the curtain, untouched. I kept the TV on all night just to drown out the silence. By morning, I had made up my mind. I booked the earliest flight back to Austin and left the hotel without a word. No checkout, no breakfast, just gone. And the whole time I sat in that departure lounge, I couldn't stop thinking about that message. Where are you? Who was trying to reach me? And why? Back home, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd stumbled into something I wasn't supposed to see. Days passed. I didn't tell anyone, not until I met up with my friend Alex over coffee. When I finally told him the name of the hotel, he gave me this weird look. That place, he said. I swear I read something about it a while back." He pulled out his phone, did a quick search, and handed it to me. There it was. A news article from 5 years ago. A young woman, early 20s, had gone missing while staying at that same motel. She was never found. Her name, her photo. I stared at the screen. The girl in the article looked just like the blurry silhouette in the photo I found in the box. Same building, same long dark hair, same empty expression. I looked at Alex. "I think I saw her." He just laughed. "Dude, maybe you're just tired. Vegas does that to people." But I wasn't tired. And I know what I saw. She was there, in that room, watching me. And to this day, I still have no idea what would have happened if I had opened that hidden space just a little earlier.